Hey guys, welcome back to FIFA 22 CF Fuenlabrada Korean mode. Thank God I didn't botch the pronunciation. It is actually a very tough pronunciation in terms of like the teams and especially La Liga Smart back the second division of the Spanish league. And of course, a lot of players in the team as well. I'm having a hard time pronouncing it in general. Like some of the names are pretty fine, like Gonzalez, like Salvador, Navarro. Those ones are really easy. But when it comes to like certain surnames that I barely encountered before, it would be a pain in the ass to pronounce it. I never studied Spanish class before, so there's some mistakes in terms of the pronunciation. So I'm gonna just, say I'm gonna apologize in advance. So hopefully you guys would understand. But today, the first game we're gonna play, it's this team, the yellow team. I didn't really pay attention to the team when we were playing for, but of course, this is going to be another challenge for us. Our team is completely new, and of course, over the course of so far in this season, I think about 2 months in or a month and a half in, we have only signed player, which is the goal scorer right there, Navarro, signing from Real Sociedad B team. And of course, I still don't know what's the difference between the B team and also the A team. Like it feels like it's like another team. I'm not quite exactly sure. Like, I thought it would be more of a reserve or more of a U23 team, but turns out it was just another team. So I don't know how that mechanic works. But right then, Navarro scores his second goal for the club, and thank God right now he is off his mark to give us a very tasty lead in the first half. And moving on to the second half right here, the other team actually have a chance here, and a good save by the goalkeeper. And this goalkeeper looks pretty phenomenal. His name is Moro. Don't know his first name yet, but eventually I might come to a realization I know how to pronounce his first name as well. But right down the other side, the goalkeeper makes another fantastic save. And Cisco right here tried to take a long shot, but good save by the goalkeeper. And people say that this statement, I think, is pretty true. Do not fall in love with a lone player, because eventually they're going to leave. And then, at that point, by the time you love the player, they're gone forever pretty much. So never actually fall in love with a lone player. And right here, we are making our second signing. We need more depth in terms of center back situation. We have signed this dude, Leonard Maloney, from the United States of America. 21-year-old, 64 rated. I'm going to sign him all the way from Borussia Dortmund B team, or the second team, as we would say, for a transfer of 1 million euros. And at the same time, his wage is pretty cheap, 850 euros per week. And right there, 21 euros, 64 rated. I would say it's okay, but I think right now, based on the depth that we have, we only have 4 center backs right now to work with, and we certainly do need more. We don't have much. I'm just saying that we don't really have much money in the end to actually sign good quality players, because by the time we actually sign one good quality player, then we'll pretty much neglect every area in other area. Well, I can't talk. In other area as well. And of course, right now, the center back situation is a little bit too thin in terms of the squad depth. And right now, I would rather spend not quite a huge sum of money on players that are, that are world class, are going to be potential. Honestly, I would rather spend money on 3-4 decent players than just sign one player that, like quality player. Basically, at this point, I think I know in the first season it might be really hard to get promoted based on the teams that we have, because Fuenlabrada apparently, I did check earlier on in the episode where they are probably one of the weakest team in the division. And based on how I changed the formation right here, it's going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be a little bit tough. And based on right there, we have been exposed a lot against this Real Sociedad B team. And of course, Navarro is traveling back to their home advantage and play against his home, his old team right there. And we got a penalty right here, and Gonzalez is going to take it. And apparently he has the highest stats, highest rating in terms of penalty taking, but he missed this stat. and we're still in a tie game 1-1. And in 27 minutes, again, our defense has been exposed pretty much every time we go on our defense. Look at that. Like, look at the gap between our defensive line and also the midfielder lines. And that is probably what makes me think, like, okay, 3 at the back doesn't seem like it's working, but we still need to work for it because, again, it frees up a lot of spot. We already sold 2 of our left backs away to another team, which means we don't have left back, and we still have 1 right back in the team so far. And of course, at the same time, using a different team right here, I would prefer Road to Glory career mode. I would tend to try to experience a little bit of a different formation if I can. And right here, Baldini equalizes the game in the 67 minutes, and we are back in the race. And of course, as I said it before, I have 2 strikers right here with 1 cam in the middle. At the same time, of course, we have only 3 defenders, but all 3 of them, they don't have specifically good pace. And that's probably what worries me. And we're heading towards the end of the transfer window. Last 10 hours in the window so far, and we got an offer for Conte, but we are not going to sell Conte. Apparently, he is probably one of the better players in the team as well. And right here we don't have much money. Look at the top left. We only have 300k to work with. So why not actually go for some players that are in the free agency? And the first player that we signed, it's actually Thomas Lamb, Finnish. He is a Finnish center back, and of course we also signed Boxels. He is a New Zealander, right? New Zealander, Australian defender. Both of them would rather take like really cheap labor, cheap wage to actually play for us. And at the same time, we did sign for Pedro Ortiz, another center midfielder from Sevilla. But of course, I don't know much about him. But this time, I think right now is more of a panic buy. Yes, we don't have much money to work with, so I would rather sign players from the free agency plus loan some players in. And right there, Pedro Ortiz has agreed to join a 1-year loan move to our club, and we have made 3 signings in the transfer deadline date. Of course, 4 signings in total in this episode, and that's concluded our August or summer transfer window. And this is the tough part. Salvador, our right midfielder, has one team, Kawasaki, I think Japanese team, has met his release clause, 1.6 million. So looking likely he is going to head out very soon, and we only have 1 right midfielder to work with. And right now we are looking at our youth academy report, and this player, Charles Endua, Cameroonian defender, call him up right there. I think he might be good enough. 52 rated, not too good, but I believe he might hit 60 by the end of the season. And we received a transfer offer for Pedro Leon. He is currently the oldest right winger we have, 74 rated, 34-year-old, and of course his pace is only 53, so there's actually no point of having him in the game. So I decided to sell him as well. It is going to be a very risky buy because after selling Leon right there, which means that we don't have any right midfielder heading towards the end of January transfer window, but at the same time we actually do have quite a bit of money. So that money that we have, so accumulate, I think based on my calculation, we might have around 3.3 million to work with in transfer budget. So I think that's the time when I'm thinking, okay, should we spend that 3.3 million on youth scout, another youth scout to kind of bolster our youth academy, or should we actually sign a player or 2? But right now I still really don't know what I'm going to do here. I might loan in a player, and I believe probably one of our players in this team so far who can actually play on the right midfielder role. And again, as I said it before, guys, this career mode is going to take a pretty long time to finish, maybe definitely more than 3 seasons to complete, because based on the status that we are, based on status that we are in right now, the condition we are in, we're nowhere close. Actually, might be getting promoted right there. We just lost our third goal of today's game, and of course, that was a pretty crappy goal to concede. And we have a chance here in the second half. Ontiveros unfortunately misses the target pretty badly, and at that point, we already know that we are not going to win the game. Instead, we are trying to sort out this team, like, because again, I feel like there is a huge skills base difference between the first division and also second division team. The way how you control the player with your controller, it feels a little bit different. It feels a little bit hard. Honestly, it feels like, you know, they're all over the place. You can't really control the player. You can't really control the movement. That's an important thing, because I feel like there's so many times where I kind of overrun players at some point, which doesn't look very pleasant. And right there, our youth star, Stronard, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I gotta check his name again. But he scored his first goal for the club, and finally making his mark in the La Liga Smart Bank. And right there in the 88th minute, we have a chance. We are actually making a comeback here. Stronard right here, cut back inside into the box and literally bolts that one, the top left corner, and we are pretty much back in the game. We have probably 1 minute plus extra time to work with, and of course, unfortunately, we didn't really have any chance right there. And there goes the news, guys. 2 right midfielders are being sold, and I believe we might have around 3 million to work with. And of course, it would be nice if you guys would input some suggestion. What should I do with that 3 million? Should I invest in with another scout, or should I just go for it and sign a player or two based on that 3 million budget? As I said before, it's not going to look good as well. It's going to look pretty thin. So this season, we might not be promoted. We might actually be able to make the playoff, but I don't think right now, based on the condition that we have, we are definitely not ready to play or get promoted to La Liga. I mean, I would rather spend another season in the second division than go to the first division and getting knocked back down again. So I would rather kind of nourish our players, youth players in the second division, and by the time when they are ready, we get promoted and we are ready to challenge the mid-table or try to survive the relegation zone. I can't talk today. In La Liga, but we will have to see about that. It is going to be a long journey for sure. And right there, 76 minutes. This is such a crappy goal to concede. I have no clue what Moro's doing. Yes, I did want him to put the ball down, but I didn't know he was gonna put like a few extra meters in front of him, and which let him pretty exposed to the goal. Yes, nobody scored a penalty, but the rebound right there, I could barely react. When the camera changed, I didn't really have the players to like mark him or make made a response with that. And then I was like, oh my god, like we're back in the game. If we score that goal, and Baldini should have, actually that's not Baldini, that's Conte right there. So I did, yeah. And then it is just all over the place at this point. And in the last minute, we conceded through a free kick right there, a indirect free kick nonetheless. And this is not fun at all. 3-1, and Zaragoza, apparently they were they're in the 20th, and pretty much like what, third dead last or something like that. So not fun, but in the end, I would say we had a pretty alright episode in general. We got a win, we got a draw, but we lost 2 games in general. But I think we'll be fine. But we'll see. We're in 9th. I'm not saying that we're in a very good place, but we're not in a very bad place at all. Plus, we still have so many games to play, so I'm not too specifically worried about it yet for now. But it is going to be a long journey. But at the same time, I believe this project is going to be pretty fun. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you guys in a bit.